Okay, so we have some milk kefir that I am actually going to strain out. It has been sitting about a day and a half. It usually should be 24 hours. It also has like 3 times the amount of grains that it actually should have in it. So anyway, it actually is going to produce a pretty good kefir from my experience. It's going to be a little bit more tangy than usual, and it's a little bit more clumped up, but you put it into a strainer and get it wiggling a little bit, and you can get this out of there and get a pretty good tasty thing. So what I want to do is show you what it looks like close up, and give you a sense of like what happens if you leave it a little bit longer, and also show you a little bit of the separation beforehand. Okay, at the bottom here you can see that the milk is separated, and you have like the whey and you have the curds forming up at the top here, and this is actually very clumped. When you have less kefir grains, you're going to see more separation. You're going to see more of this clearish liquid, the whey, actually building up and kind of forming like little pockets. That's about when it's ready. Here we just have this thick curdish mass here that we're going to strain out. So let's take a look at that. Comes out in a big glop. You can see a lot of separated liquid in there. And what I do is I keep wiggling it, and this eventually all comes out here. So wiggling it back and forth. And you can see this stringy kefir is coming through. Kind of getting a little bit all over the place here. Another good technique for doing this is to actually have a jar that has a top that is also a strainer. And you can get these are usually sprouting jar tops that will fit most of your mason jar containers. You don't want to do any container that's too big than this, because this processes every 24 hours. And if it's processing every 24 hours, you're going to have more kefir than you can possibly drink unless you do it in smaller amounts. Unless your plan is to sell it or something. But anyway, you can see all the grains, the kefir grains separating. And we have some large ones building up here. Here's a really good sized kefir grain. Okay, so then this right here we just kind of mix up, blend up, and this is going to be our kefir in here. And it's actually going to be really good stuff. And here we have some of the rinsed kefir grains. And just to give you a perspective, show you how here's like a good sized kefir grain building up. And one thing you're going to see is the kefir grains are actually going to get kind of a very stringy substance that starts to form around them. When you see this, this is actually a good thing. And you've got a lot of like really beneficial bacteria that's actually going to like help your culture grow really fast. So just want to show you that. We've got our kefir grains in our separate containers. I'm actually doing 2 bottles at once, because my grains keep increasing. Oop. So I fill it about 3/4 full. Leave a little extra space. I always use organic 1% milk. You can use whole milk. Then I bottle that up. Now what I'm going to do is take my kefir And this is, depending on how you do it, it can be a little messy. Put it down here and just pour it in. And it's a really nice consistency. If you've ever bought something like Helios, you're going to see it's nice, creamy, thick. It has a curd factor that's much smaller than cottage cheese, so it's really small, and but it allows it to have this like really thick taste to it. And this is so good. It's like I usually drink several cups a day. But when you have kefir, always make sure you follow it with a little bit of water, because kefir is actually something that can be like slightly dehydrating to the system and can cause a little bit of binding. It's funny, if you drink enough water, it can also help for nice movement through the system, and it's somewhat of adaptogen, so it gets your body working correctly the way you want it to. So anyway, there's nothing better than a glass of fresh-made kefir. It's great at room temperature. I think it's a little bit better colder. But I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. I'm going to use it for the next day or two.